Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena in the free-to-play world. It's me, it's CGB, and we're checking in on our free-to-play account here. Apparently we got some gold on the horizon if we get enough EXP, and there's a code. What was the code? Check my Discord. Somebody sent me this code. So let's get it out there. Brought back, huh? So let's get in that store. This, I guess, is the thank you for the servers being messed up. Well, boom. EXP and a pack. Love it. So punch that code in, my friends. Brought back. Getting you that great value right off the start here. So let's crack our pack, see if it's any good. We got a Fathom Fleet Cutthroat, which we're already not playing one. Veil of Summer, which is not the card our black deck ever wants to see, but it will go well. The Chandra's Ember Cap may come in, and some wild cards. And a Leyline of the Void, which is a black rare, but it's definitely a sideboard card, so I'm going to be avoiding that one. Not going in my main deck. So we've worked on Out for Blood a little bit. I don't believe I've made many adjustments. And just looking around, we got two of these Knights of the Ebon Legion now, which are kind of our primary beatdown mechanism. Sword's Thirst is good against red decks, of which I expect to see a couple, and it works better than Deck Bedazzle, although Deck Bedazzle hits larger things. So it's kind of tough for me to decide if I want to play it, but there's so much like life gainy synergies and such. The Vizier of the Scorpion is an amass zombie card that's pretty good, but isn't fitting with our whole vampire theme. We're pretty much going down a road where we have a lot of vampire interactions, and I didn't like the Gruesome Menagerie at all. The Gravewalker is another, like, these are some big cards that are kind of a slower, more control-y deck. So I'm gonna try Life Without them. I don't know how many that I should go without, though. Seems like a Meteor Golem's a really good out to some of the nonsense that we come across. And maybe we want the Child of Knights back in the deck if we're trying to be a little more aggressive and get our life gain triggers. We do have 3 of these aerialists now. Blood for Bones can get things back from the graveyard, but we have to sacrifice a creature on the battlefield. And I'm not quite sure what we're sacrificing. We don't have a lot of enters the battlefield triggers to worry about with Blood for Bones anyway. And how about you? You say whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. Well, it's not a very good 5-drop, to be honest, but we've got so much life gain synergy that we're trying to bake into the deck that I think it might be completely worth it. Weird. Getting me to play life gain is usually pretty hard. Some of you are probably very excited about this new development. Anyway, what are we up to? We're going to check out these other decks eventually. In the Mastery Tree, we're going to finish out Black, which is only 1 more, and it's just a cosmetic anyway, a Child of Night, but we're going to finish that out. Then I think we'll move over here to Red, because we've already got a red orb in there. So let's go do some quests. So we're going to re-roll some quests to try to maximize our gold. We want to shoot for a 750. We have this white and green spells, and we have this blue and green spells. I think I'm more likely to cast white and green than blue. I didn't see a lot of blue cards I love in my set. I think I could re-roll either of these. I'm going to choose this one. And 20 creature spells, no problemo there. Alright, I am out for blood. Even more so. I'm out for more blood. Get me additional blood. Bonus blood, we could say. Somebody is a JPEG that is 640 by 480. What an interesting username. So I guess I'll try the hand. We don't have any early vampires, but we can duress the opponent and make them discard some cards before hopefully doing cooler things. Maybe the Meteor Golem should just be on the bench by now. Maybe we should be all in on our vampire shenanigans. Oh my. Well, the strength of this hand definitely lies in the Argos Bloodfast, which can pay 2 life to draw a card. Vanquisher's Banner is good when our opponent eventually casts it. Hopefully by then we can Meteor Golem it, and the opponent may miss some land drops. The Mortify is a pretty good card too, but they don't have the white, and they can't cast these. This whole hand is built around Argyl's Bloodfast, so it's easily the take. The additional cards they can draw with the Bloodfast can help them fix their hand. And yeah, that's oops. They kept it because they told themselves a story. The story was that Bloodfast will make this hand okay, but we will not allow it. Alright, let's get the Shadow Mage going. Pick at the hand a little bit. Let's pick at your hand. Drop something off. It's a sadistic Sky Marcher, so our opponent started dropping off creatures, which I guess I can't complain about, and they still didn't draw more land. So this is a case where I could play the Thirsting Bloodlord, but I'm going to play the Aerialist because the Bloodlord can just pump it next turn, and we might draw a way to gain life, maybe, I don't know. But before we do that, let's make our opponent discard before showing them what we're going to play. Actually, I guess it's the same either way, right? So, alright, Bloodlord. This is more mana efficient. This attacks for 3. Next turn, this would attack for 3 with the pump. So we'll start with you. We'll start with Mr. Lannister here. Oh! Tywin Lannister. That's what I think of for some reason. Hey! Behold, level up. We are in Bronze Tier 3. The opponent didn't draw lands. Their Argyl's Bloodfast plan just did not work out. Mastery Orb, lots of gold. Rock and roll. Now we got this orb. Let's drop it off. That will lock up black for us. There's our Child of Night Fancy Pansy. And with this locked up, we can move over into red if we wish. So,
gold for a booster.
I do? Yes, I do.
Let's go get one from the store.
Okay, just because you're such a good salesperson.
This way.
No, I don't want to buy that. This is free to play. Let's go over to packs.
One booster pack, please.
Boom.
Let's go and open your new booster pack.
I'm going to get a second, though. Isn't that what you want?
I can't wait to find out what's inside.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Hype, hype, hype. So, this is really good for red, though. Chandra's Spitfire, legitimate contender if we can get cards that go damage to face. So,
Humbled by the pursuit of knowledge.
nice. I don't even have one of these in my pay-to-play account. So, sweet. This is a good blue little Planeswalker I'm looking forward to trying out. That I haven't played at all, and nobody's played against me, so I really don't know how she does in the format.
To earn more boosters in gold.
I plan to. I'll be on it, Sparks. Don't worry about a thing. Another vampire that I don't need. A Colossal Hammer. 8 mana equipped for +10/+10. This is not good. Loses flying is hilarious. You can't fly with this. That's just perfect. And Embodiment of Agonies. When it enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it for each different mana cost among non-land cards in your graveyard. So you have to have a way to fill your graveyard. Doing it the old-fashioned way of just having the opponent kill your stuff is probably unreliable. You never want this to be your 3 mana 0/0. That's just weak. So this is good in a graveyard deck. I don't have the tools for that yet. So it's kind of a specialized rare, unfortunately. But let's work on Dome Destruction. We're going to slide over to red. I know I have strong feelings about red decks. I don't like them. And I know some of you probably feel the same way. But it's free to play. I think that mono red kind of serves this important role in free to play because it lets anybody compete. Anybody can beat somebody if they're running mono red. Pack Mastiff. Each creature you control names the Mastiff gets +1/+0. Wow. And now we have 4 Chandra Spitfires in the deck. Well, I guess I didn't need to open that card, did I? How about you? Gain control of a creature, 3 or less, gains haste. It's kind of weak. Might be good. I don't know. Riot, whenever it attacks you may discard a card if you do draw a card, so a little bit of value. They gave us 4 Goblin Gatherings, that's gotta make some players happy. Chandra's Outrage, pretty popular. That Cavalier Flame, that mythic rare, I guess we can slide that in. any other red cards that need to just get in the deck. We would run the Bedeck Bedazzle. Don't think we'll need it though. I think we have a lot of other ways to deal damage. And of course the Meteor Golem. But this deck I want to get lower to the ground. I want it to be much more aggressive. And we've got a lot of ways to do that. I'm not sure about Pack Mastiff. Depends how many other small creatures I have ready to go. 4 shocks. Whenever it attacks, it deals 1 damage to a player or planeswalker it's attacking. Okay, so kind of like a 2/1. Interesting, but I think we can trim at least some of this. Now, dragons. Magic has cool dragons, and the more you play Magic, the more you realize you shouldn't be running the cool dragons. They are expensive, takes a long time to get there. I can try one today, just for the lull of it. Inescapable Blaze, 6 damage to any target. It's an explosive way to end a game, but I think we can trim it. 1/5, 1/6, 1/7 as our top end sounds reasonable. I guess I'll run the Gatherings for the fun of it. This says whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, +1/+0 until end of turn. Ugh, Burning Prophet's so much better. Hopefully we'll unlock some of those soon. I don't feel like I have that many ways to activate the Spitfire. The opponent has to be dealt non-combat damage. Well, Spear is a good combo for that. This is non-combat damage. Even though it happens within combat, it's not dealt by the combat, so that's fine. I guess the Torch Courier is just kind of okay. It can go. Do I need a Chandra's Triumph when I already have all this removal and no Chandra Planeswalker? Probably not. How many creatures are we running, by the way? 21? Well, if we just trim one, we have exactly 20 creatures. That's just amazing. How do we get so lucky? If you're gonna trim a Mastiff, you should trim all the Mastiff. But it is kind of an ugly Grizzly Bear, and I do want them out of my deck pretty much as soon as possible. It's just hard to trim one when, you know, they kind of pump each other. The whole point is to have 4, but I'm gonna start trimming them now. All right, we've got our Dome Destruction. Let's go fire up and go face. Try to knock out the Mastery Tree before rolling to the next one. Or rolling right into Rakdos, which is the other thing that we can do. Mono Red's still probably the best budget deck to craft. If we wanted to be super competitive, I think that's where we'd be. I know it's clear from the poll that most people want me in black. Mono black is so rare and mythic intense when I looked at it that I just don't know if I can do it. But I can keep working possibly on vampires. Maybe the black-white vampire deck is the way to go once we are going to use our wild card, since it might be competitive in this meta. And it is a pretty fun deck to play, even if I don't think it's the greatest. It's a very exciting deck to play, vampires. So maybe that's where we will end up. We will have to wait and see. For now, I'm just worried about using the Mastery Tree to get all of the free goodies I can, because when you're building your collection, nothing helps like free. So this says whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on the weird. So that's a pretty important one, and makes me want to save my Pyrohelix, my Infuriate, and my Outrage until after the weird is on the battlefield. So I'm curious with this Hunted Witness, just how good our opponent's deck is. There's a Vanguard. And my turn? Interesting. We could Pyrohelix both of these, but I do want to save it till the weird is here. There's a Mastiff I wish I could have played last turn. That's the way it goes sometimes, though. Let's get weird. Maybe next turn we Pyrohelix and Mastiff. Alright. The opponent's able to gain a life to pump their Vanguard. They could attack it into the weird if they're feeling frisky, and they are. Cavalier of Flame, ready to roll. Let's play out the Mastiff. And let's send in the weird. See how the opponent wants to handle a block here. No block. Then in that case, I'll Pyrohelix and submit. Take out those two. Our opponent will get a 1/1 soldier, but our 3/3 weird will crash in. And the 1/1 is currently outclassed by the Mastiff, so I don't think it will get a nice attack here. Opponent finds their second land and the Pride Mage, the pride and joy of their deck, and they're throwing the lifelink token into the fire. No, never mind. They changed their mind on that. Was a little bit reckless. So I think that the play will be to use the outrage on the Pride Mage, but first let's attack and see if the opponent wants to put any blocks up. What you got? Okay, Chumperinos. Wonder if in that case I can save the Chandra's Outrage and not use it yet, and instead use the turn to pump this once and play the Urchin? Can the opponent gain 2 life next turn? Maybe. But yeah. I think we're going to save it. Gonna save the Outrage till next turn. Try to set the opponent up for even more damage, because it will also pump this Fire Urchin till end of turn with an instant or sorcery spell to get extra damage in. Even if our opponent can make this a 5-power creature, eventually we'll get Infuriated, and we can get into some kind of a combat tussle where Infuriate helps us. The opponent crashes in with Pride Maiden Falcon, drops us to 12, but our life total ain't that important, to be real with you all. So Cavalier of Flame could discard these to draw more cards, but that's probably really bad. Let's keep attacking. Would a Johnny's Pride might like to try to block anything? This is currently a 1/3. It would be a fair block, but if I have any instant, and the opponent knows this, it could really wreck their day. But here we go. Chandra's Outrage. Target you. Trigger, trigger. And 2 damage. And now we'll also use Infuriate, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think it brings me to like 2 points short of lethal, but the Infuriate would get us really close to lethal. And we rank up. The opponent doesn't want to take that beating anymore. We've had 2 games today with mana screw, or mana issues, you could say, if you want. Haven't been close yet, but you gotta take the wins. You get rewards mostly for wins, so you gotta go get them. And we're playing ranked, the height of competitive Magic the Gathering. Look at this, it's a 1, 2, 3 curve. Let's try it. And we're on the play? Yeah. The opponent has a good deck. They might have a sweeper, a way to kill all of our creatures, which would really hurt, but what can you do? I think we've got to try this 1, 2, 3 super aggressive start, and our opponent took a mulligan. So hopefully just getting to go first and having a curve, we can get enough damage in and put them on the back foot that we can close out the game no matter what we draw. Island, okay. Hiya. And the Mastiff. So now we're very likely to play the Weird on 3 because this is a non-creature spell, even though it makes creatures. Drown Secrets. Whenever you cast a blue spell, target player puts the top 2 cards of their library into their graveyard. Okay. Are they here to mill me? Spit, hit, down to 14. The creatures are coming fast and furious. Can the opponent do something about it? No. No, they cannot. It's too easy. All right. Boom. Bronze 2. Just smashing. Smashing players with mana issues and clunky draws. Alright, so we don't have a mastery thingy-majig yet. Apparently, we're on 5. We're trying to get to 6. We need all this XP. We have 0 XP. How do we get the XP? Where's more XP today? Still trying to learn how to read this thing. I don't know. Still have trouble reading it. Still have trouble telling like what I need to do to get things. What I do know how to do is win games of Magic, so I'm gonna go keep trying to do that. Like, that part of the game I know. This mastery stuff, I can read, like, a lot of you care a lot. You're really nice people. You've posted me epic books about, like, it just huge write-ups of how mastery works and where I will find all the things and answer all my questions. I read those, like, 2 to 3 times. Still have no idea what you're talking about. Like, I know, I'm a dinosaur. I'm good at playing the games. The other stuff around the game, I can just be an idiot. Just be an idiot about that. But don't let that discourage you. Perhaps other players are reading your words and doing amazing things with the information. I'm pretty sure it boils down to, though, I need to play and win games, and then I will get the masteries or the progress. This is getting epic. You know you're running hot when you just can't lose. When you, ooh, a free draw. Do I get anything for that? No. Shocking. Two Scorched Spitters and an Outrage. It's not very strong, but I'll try it. If our opponent stumbles, maybe it will do something. They open on a Meandering Wibba. Let's see what that means. River on river. They must have an opt here. I mean, these can pile up the damage if there's nothing blocking them. It is 2 damage. It's like playing a 1-mana 2/1, sorta. They're not the worst. Yep, waiting till the very last possible second to cast their opt. Make sure they have all of the information before considering whether or not to put their 4th land on the bottom and draw or keep it. Spellkeeper weird. Return target instant or sorcery from your graveyard to your hand. It's got 4 toughness. That's too much. Oh, going second is hard. If we had gone first, we'd still be crashing in and our opponent would be at 14 instead. But now we have to pass the turn to a frickin' Spellkeeper. Weird. Leyline of Anticipation. You may play cards as though they... Yeah, whatever. It's not that good, especially if it's not in your opener. So it's probably going to drive us a little bit nuts trying to figure out what our opponent's holding and playing around it. But alas, I think we'll carry on just fine. So we definitely outrage this off the battlefield and get more damage in, because that's what red is all about. Now our opponent has this card, so they can play anything at instant speed. We may as well crash in. We can't just assume that they'll have nothing. Something bad will probably happen, but we also can't sit back. Elite Card Mage is really good here. Like, absurdly good. 3 life and a card when we're trying to blast them. So mean. Alright, we'll shock your Guard Mage. Just gotta get it off the battlefield. We don't have much of a choice. And now this is our 5th, 6th, 7th land. Unless we draw exactly our 7-mana dragon, we are flooding out brutally. Our opponent has their ley line, so they're going to say go. They probably have a blocker to play at instant speed or something like that. But they're thinking about it. And they're playing the Mentor now, which makes sense. You don't want to play that at instant speed. There's a shock. So I guess we just have to kill this. Now we can kill off the Mentor. But we don't have to take it to 0. Like, this thing has a -2. So all we have to do is attack it with the Spitter, and it'll deal 1 damage to the Planeswalker, so it'll take it down to 1. Our spells will be more expensive to target the opponent's things, but I think that's fine. Especially when we have this many lands. Okay, she's something. So our opponent discarded an Erratic Visionary. We know they have a lot more cards to play, but I don't think we can hold back. I think we just kind of have to crash into it, unfortunately. Never mind, Time Wipe, kill all our things. Well, now I'll play the Spitfire. Hold this last land. Just to let them think it might be something else, something to be afraid of. But yeah, we're in a very bad position in this game. We can knock off our casting spells quests as long as we're drawing spells. But as soon as I'm out of real action, I'm likely to scoop this game. Narset, freaking awesome card. Dovin's Acuity. And another Planeswalker, Dovin the Hand of Control. Alright, it's a spell. Might as well play it. Might as well get some quest work done. We're not gonna win this one. Dovin's, our opponent's like kind of cutesy, budgety, Leyline of Anticipation, Dovin's Acuity list.
If you had fewer flaws.
This does say your main phase, right? Whenever you cast an instant spell during your main phase, so it doesn't exactly work with the Leyline, but it's something. Uh-huh. Well, this, what do you say? Whenever an opponent is dealt non-combat damage. Okay, so we'll go like, I guess these aren't doing anything. We could just go face. We definitely want to go face once. I'm just deciding if we want to kill something else. I don't think I have any card draw in my deck for Narset to take advantage of. So I'm just going to go face, all face. And kill the Dovin. Try to make my Spellgorger weird better. Okay. Fun. Fun end games from the Leyline of Anticipation and the Elite Guard Mage. But the opponent lets Dovin die.
The shortcomings here were mine.
You didn't want his Acuity? You're definitely playing Acuity now. Yeah, nothing's really changed. We can't win the game. I could concede and try to get to another game where we would do a better chance. And especially with the opponent tanking, I don't think there's any point in staying in the game. This is one of those situations where we're just such a non-favorite, I'd rather work on something else. I leveled up somehow. I have no idea. I thought I had to win. Anyway, let's get some red cards. Ember Haulers are a big upgrade over the 2-drops we're running right now, so without a question, I'm going to put those in there. Fuel to the fire, indeed. Ember Hauler are so much better than those stupid Pack Mastiffs. So what did they take out? Let's keep the Spitter, because we like early cards. Yeah, they're trying to take out my cheap cards, but I think cheap cards are pretty important in your red decks. I don't agree with their assessment of what to remove. I guess it has to be based on something.
You can challenge them here.
No way.
You'll need to enter their full username below.
Yeah, because I can't have a friends list.
Your info too.
Sure, that sounds really fun when we could just have a list. When it could say challenge Mark or something like that, but whatever. I'm glad they have something. It's better than nothing. So we're still trying to play 9 more creature spells for our quest. And now the server is busted. Lots of weird problems in Arena since the new updates. I blame Chris Clay, or at least his departure. Chris Clay was the lead developer on Arena. He recently left. So now everything that's wrong it's because Chris Clay left, in my opinion. We have a Spitfire and a Gathering and a Triumph. I guess we can sit on this. The Infuriate, like, none of this goes very well with the Spitfire, but we'll see. We will see. Doesn't go with my quest of playing creatures either, since I only have one. Oh, there's two. Will I ever have 7 mana and the dragon at the same time? That's the question. Sweet art, though. One of the prettier dragons in memory. Yeah, can't kill it. It's a nice start for the opponent. They look like they have a regular deck. Oh, I can kill it. Llanowar Elf is one of the most powerful cards in the game. Don't let it fool you. It's just a 1/1, but extra mana does so many things. You should kill it on sight. Jadelight Ranger, huh? Alright, drop that off. So, we could gather and then regather. Sounds fun. Sounds fun, especially with the Spitfire not doing much with our current batch of cards. Opponent looking in the graveyard. Must have some way to get something out of the graveyard. So if they want to get this back out of the graveyard, we don't want to block. It gets value when it enters the battlefield, after all. Let's instead send in our little gobos and see what happens. Try to trade some damage for some damage. And play another. Yeah, 3 goblins that time, because you get 2 goblins, then you get another for each goblin. The Gathering in the graveyard. Hiya! Going off. Making extra goblins. And now the opponent's passing the turn. They want to block. That's fine. I still don't want to kill their Jadelight Ranger. I just want to get damage in. Whatever they have, it's something to deal with the graveyard. Some way to get things out of the graveyard or return them from the graveyard. Find Finality, Blood for Bones, something of that nature. And we don't want to give in to their plan. Chandra's Spitfire and Spear Spewer is a neat little tag team, though. It can make sure the Spitfire gets powered up every turn. Ooh, they shock to play, well, Mythic Rare Liliana. That's nice. Alright, we need to land off the top really bad here. The opponent's still attacking. Definitely can take that. There's a land. Sweet. So, if we take this out, the opponent takes 2. This goes to a 4. And we can get him for 8. It's a lot of damage. And then an Infuriate might just be lethal the following turn. So let's focus on going face, shall we? Hiya! And this means we can also top deck Shock. And we have 4 Shocks in our deck, and it could be lethal. So hold on to your butts. Cross your fingers. Let's hope we get there. There's a cast down for the Spitfire, so it's not a Find Finality in the opponent's hand. They could have swept the board if they had one. They still have to deal with the tokens, and we have an Infuriate, so if any token is unblocked, it's more than lethal. Branch Walker. Okay. This is going to be very close. Extremely close. Do they have one more creature to play? They haven't. They've done not much with their mana for turn after turn. It is Find, and they didn't play the Finality. Wow, I'm stunned. So now I think they would block all of the goblins. We drew 2 Infuriates. God. So if any goblin got through, the opponent would die. But if they all get blocked... Oh, man, this is a tough call. I think I have to hope my opponent's an idiot, right? Let's go. Let's hope they mess up. Of course they want to block everything, I think, but it's worth a try. Too bad. So do I want to use Infuriate? I could use it to save this token. Doesn't give trample though, does it? I don't want to kill that many of my opponent's creatures though. I guess I could save this one too. I don't like the opponent getting cards. Let's see if they can deal with the Spear Spewer or if we can top deck a Shock. Also, if they find a Wild Growth Walker, we're in big trouble. Like, big trouble. Ooh, that can gain life.
I only pick targets that interest me. Lucky you. An unfortunate casualty.
Alright, we still have the Spewer. We could draw that Shock and get there. In hindsight, I think I should have just left my goblins back.
Help is easy to find.
The Infuriates weren't doing much. Oh, aggro. No blocks. I think the opponent might... I don't know. What are they doing? They're at 3. Now if I had an Infuriate, I'd be in a really good spot. Oops. Looks like a trap. Yeah, I should have saved an Infuriate. If they made this mistake in that situation, I'd be in such a good spot. I would have won the game. And they're scooping. Unreal. So they were still at 2? They were at 1? And then they went up to... Anyway. How does this happen? Weird day. All right. Carry on. Here's the Infuriate, the Spitter, the Helix, the Weird. We're on the play. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Let's roll Lizard. Elemental Lizard. Elemental, kind of a key type here in M20. Lots of elemental synergy lurking about. Terramunda. I guess I can see if my opponent wants to block here. I doubt they do. They might play another 1-drop, which would make the Pyro Helix even better. And if they block, we could Infuriate. But I do want to save my spells till after the Weird is down. Alright. Curious Obsession. We go for it. Yes, it resolves. So dive down, spell pierce. Lots of bad things could have happened there. But we got rid of the most important card, which is Curious Obsession. Let's serve up the Spitter again. Little mono blue deck. Just trying to be aggressive and get my weirdo down. Why can't you be an elemental? It would be nice if you had some synergy. Being a weird is just weird. Really? Really? You just drew the best card in your deck twice? That's how we're gonna do it? Where's all my shocks, huh? Where are those cards? Where are those strong cards? Hello. Alright, let's see if we can draw out some plays from our opponent with a sweet attack step. want to do anything? Because I'm coming at you for a lot of damage. They're going to take all that, okay? Well, our opponent can play pretty much anything, so if I'm going to shock, I can do it on their next turn's upkeep, or I can wait till end step when they try to play like a Merfolk or something. Or an Opt. They must have something. And there is an Opt, so in response to your Opt, I will shock your Siren Storm Tamer. My god. This is the worst. This is the worst feels. The good news is our opponent's at 7. But the bad news is they've gonna draw like infinite cards. So we'll see what happens. Extra, by infinite I mean they get a free extra draw a turn, and usually whoever draws the most cards wins. So we've got to somehow squeak out a victory. Maybe I should have just gone for Shocking Face. That's a draw. That's a very real draw. So I think we'll just save this. I think we just say go. Don't let the opponent play counters or use their mana efficiently or anything. These often run counter spells, spell pierce, things like that. If we try to rush out the outrage, I guess we could have buffed the weird, right? That would be a reason to. But if we even get to attack with this, we're fine. Yeah, I think we could have just buffed for lethal last turn. I'm an idiot sometimes. So before our opponent draws this card, let's make them use one more mana, I guess. All right, as long as we get to turn that spitter sideways, though, we win. No amount of blocking will save them, and there it is. Whew. Got there. So Mono Blue is actually a very competitive deck. To get there with our like free-to-play red deck feels pretty nice. And it says we got a level up. So let's check back in on our mastery tree. Do we want more Outrage, a Cyclops, and another Dragon? Or do we want an Arcanist, a Pyrohelix, and Dragon? I will tell you, Dreadhorde Arcanist is a good card. Let's do this. Let's also manage later. I will do the managing of the decks here. I don't find the AI's choices absolutely terrible all the time, just terrible often enough. But let's get another Helix and an Arcanist in there. Now, do we have enough little spells to bring back? We have Infuriate, which can pump our Arcanist, and we have Shock. So I guess those can make sure that we get to do more Anarchy. What else do we have? I don't feel like I need more dragons. I never get to cast them. Like 4 and 5 drops are not how red decks do its things. So I know you like dragons, kids, but the sooner that you get away from the dragons and focus on the synergies, probably the more wins you'll get. Just saying. We'll even trim a land there. We'll get the Bedeck in there because it goes well with some of the other cards. And we'll get, what do you do? 3 damage to a creature with flying or destroy target artifact. You think we'll need that? There'll be enough games where we don't have a target, but when it works, it works. It's a versatile little card. I just think that now that we've cut the more expensive cards, we can get down to like 22 land. Something like this. Just a bad little red deck. Available now. Okay. Like, I didn't know that. It must be because I have 1,000 gold. They're like, don't you know you can pack this up? Don't you know? I know. Give me something good. Scampering Scorcher, another shock I don't need. 2 Sky Dancers? I guess we're going blue pretty soon. That's kind of unbelievable. Anyway, you can't be the cover art anymore. So to change your cover art, just grab another card, drag it over here. Our Monkey Pirate can definitely run the yard. Hey, combo, Spitfire Spear Spewer. Let's do it. Plus a Fire Urchin? Hell yeah. A little bit of lag there. Maybe I need that client restart. Godless Shrine. Esper Control, is that you? Let's ping it up. Well, let's hurt something. Yeah, that's you. All rare lands, Thought Erasure. Nah, but the neck deck superstar is here. Get him. Don't think we have a chance in hell when I see a mana base like this, but we'll see. We will see. They're a freaking champion of justice. So here's my Spitfire. Probably gonna die. But I'm at least gonna show the combo. Spear Spewer does a damage to each player, pumps this to a 4/3. Yep. Ta-da! Killed my thing. What a superstar. What are you doing in bronze here? Did you just start your arena account, throw all the money in, make all the decks? Maybe you're just starting out standard. But yeah, this isn't a remotely fair fight. Gaia's Wrath, destroy all creatures. Let's not. Let's not even play. I mean, if you want to, you free-to-players out there, I won't discourage you. If you want to play out Esper Control and learn more about how that deck does its thing, I know how the deck does its thing. I've played probably 100 matches with and against it. I don't need to play this game. All right. Spewer Urchin. It's very similar to the last hand, so we can give it a try. But now we're on the draw. Let's see if we're in a reasonable matchup. Okay. Okay. Looking like Esper Control again to me. What are they doing in bronze? I'm so confused. But we'll get it going. We'll see what we can do, at least for a little while. We'll cast some of our spells. Rat Colony. Okay. Okay. Something fresh coming up. Something else is going on here. I dig it. Let's go ahead and... We could save this till end step or whatever. I just want to get it done. Demir Gilgate, Rat Colony. What do you guys think? Do we block? I don't think so. There's the Spitfire. Sweet. So attacking here would be a trade, which I don't like. So we'll play you. We'll pass the turn. The opponent's got all the rats. We have an outrage that the opponent will know about, so we probably can't trick them very well with it. And here they come in all of their glory. Alright, let's do this. No blocks, though. Down to 5. Gotta stay alive. We're gonna make it hard. Down to 4. We're playing the game on hard mode today, friends. So shoot that down to 2. Block there. It's not very good. I think we're going to lose to the rat deck by a mile. Can I attack? These will both be 4s. No, I can't. I'm pretty toast. Gotta love that the opponent went straight to crafting Rat Colony and beating the trash out of me with it. So I should have just held back the Spear Spewer for a block. Not that it accomplishes much. It accomplishes close to nothing. Okay, land. Dare you attack? Yes, you do. And we lose. Unfortunately, because I did tap the Spear Spewer. I blame the Esper tilt, but just an example of what not to do in Magic here, my friends. And I'll take my rat beating like a man. It happens. We got some easy wins to start the day. I'll take some brutalities to end it. It's okay. So the way that the Rat Colony works is if you craft 4 of them, you can have any number of Rat Colony in your deck. So you can run 20 if you want to. Which is an interesting way to go in Mono Black. Might be worth some experimenting. What do you guys think? Leave me a comment. Rat colony? Should we rat colony? Okay, 2 goblin gatherings. How could we say no? Yeah. Man, the lag has gotten extreme. Is it this cat? Are you lagging me? Eternal Taskmaster enters the battlefield tapped for 3. Return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand when the Taskmaster attacks. Well, Taskmaster doesn't scare me yet. We've got this sweet Fire Urchin to pair with our Goblin Gatherings. Get some extra damage in. We got a reader. Okay. So all my cards pair pretty well with others, but I think if I drop a gathering, I get 3 tokens for 1 gathering. It's a good deal. And there's the go. So I don't have a great attack. Let's send out a Spitfire. Let's see if we can sneak some damage through in the air. The Spitter can activate it by attacking, which may be a play we wish to make. Ideally the same turn that we play the Gathering. Wow, going after our hand pretty hard, this guy.
Let's tidy up.
So the other Urchin can go. I think that makes all the sense in the world. Alright. Let's play a Chandra's Triumph. Let's kill the Taskmaster. Let's send you here to deal 1 to it. You here to deal the 2 to it guaranteed. Because if the opponent could chump and this could go to 1, then the opponent could use it to get my gathering, which we don't want. So I'm basically trading this off. You're going to go here. Oh wait, this will deal 1 damage to the planeswalker it's attacking. We have to attack here. Okay. Well, if the opponent final minuses the Davriel to get the gathering, I'm very sad, but I guess we have to go for it. I still think the opponent will want to trade the rat for the Spitter because of the amount of power it's going to put into the Chandra Spitfire. So let's put them on blocking the Spitter. And this means that Davriel dies and we get our gathering for next turn.
I have some fine print to obfuscate.
Alright, Black Mana, what have you got? Death Baron. Alright. Let's go ahead and send out the Gathering. We could use Torch Courier to play it with haste and attack it this turn, but right now it would just run into the Baron, so that doesn't do anything. So let's attack with these, and then let's get this onto the battlefield. And hope the opponent doesn't have a sweeper. I'm expecting them not to, based on all the small creatures they've played. But weird stuff happens down here. They're down a lot of critters. Do they have something powerful to play? They have a cast down. Yep. Goodbye. Lovely Spitfire. Anything else? Mountain. Alright. I think we gotta just attack for some damage here. We're going to lose a goblin along the way, but we'll get some damage in. And damage can matter a lot. Let's play out our lands. The opponent will make us discard them with various effects in their deck, like Davriel. Now Davriel will hit us for 2 damage as long as we have no cards in our hand, but I think that's okay. We're pretty far ahead in the race.
Ooh, sorry. Well, not really.
Let's keep getting the damage in. We want to make it so that shock off the top can be lethal. The block is on the Fire Urchin. The opponent falls to 3. They were scared of some kind of a spell pumping this for lethal. And they draw a cast down. They're hanging in there, but they're at 3 life, facing 3 goblins. Let's go, team.
Ugh, what a Why not?
That might be good enough if they don't have another instant speed removal spell. Let's use the pump spell to get the lethal damage through, and that will do it. Still leveling. And we ranked up too. Got to bronze 1. Alright, our next orb. Let's lock it in over here. And go see if we can finish managed later. I don't really need any of these in my deck, to be honest. And let's see if we can finish the red side of the mastery tree all in one day. And then we might be able to try some Rakdos stuff. My first priority, like I've said, for free-to-play is to get all the free stuff available in the mastery tree and then work on all the other things. So we're going to basically go around the world unlocking all the colors. This is a good hand. We've got a shock we can play early if we need to. We've got a weird and an urchin that both get pumped by the Goblin Gathering. Tin Street Dodger. It's a 1/1 with haste, but it's important to know what you need to kill. I don't feel like I need to kill a 1/1 with haste. It's just a 1/1. I'm not afraid of it. So I'm going to save my shock for a better target and get the urchin onto the battlefield, a 1/3. Now the opponent can play a red so that this can't be blocked, but that's fine with me too. That is just fine. Well, they're checking out their hand, saying, what should I do? And the answer is more 1/1s, as this might be a Cavalcade of Calamity deck. Let's get the Spitfire onto the battlefield, I think. If we play the Weird without another spell to play the same turn, it can be shocked to death, whereas Spitfire is very hard to shock. And we'll hold back our 1/3s to battle these goblins. It would be nice if we drew a land so we could play Weird and have shock available in response to a shock of the opponents. This would become a 3/3 and not die to the shock. So that's my thinking on why it's still in my hand. Now we also have these ways to pump the Spitfire for a lot of damage, but the opponent has a Lightning Strike. They're not going to put up with the Spitfire. Wow. Well, we'll block here and see what the opponent has. Is it a shock? Is it a pump spell? It is a shock. But we have to get these things out of the way. We want them in the graveyard so that we can do things like play this. And we will save the instant speed shock as a response to an opponent's shock if they have another one. And it looks like, yep, there's the shock. In response, I will shock your instigator. And now my creature does not die. Let's see if you have another way to kill it, though. They do. They have a Firebrand. Sometimes the opponent has it all, but you just have to make sure that's the way it goes. You absorb all the cards you can for every card you play. That's a really good card. And there's a Cavalcade of Calamity. That Pyro Helix, though, is very nice. So here, let's go ahead and get the Goblin Gathering down. Let's also play this Fanatical Firebrand and say go. I think I'll use the Firebrand to kill our opponent's Goblin when they play the Cavalcade. Although, actually, I should probably save it. There's probably a better Goblin to kill. The opponent with 1 token isn't particularly dangerous. And we have a Chandra's Pyro Helix in hand. So I'm not even blocking. I'm going to try to be aggressive instead. This isn't that bad. This is a bit annoying, but we can Pyro Helix him up. Chandra's Outrage. Well, we'll save that for a rainy day. Let's go ahead and get violent. It's just a 1/1 token. We can kill things in a lot of ways. We don't need to panic and use the Firebrand right now. We can figure out more about what our opponent is getting up to. We can try to point our removal spells in the right places. Goblin Gathering, look at that top deck. Let's hope they don't draw another gathering off the top, though. We, on the other hand, could really use another gathering. They're losing 3, we're losing 2. Let's keep this up. This is perfectly fine. Oh my goodness. That's not fine. All right. Let's zap you. Now we will fling the firebrand because of the race, and it's going to be a close race. But I think the key now is to try to trade off this token for that token. I'm trying to click. There's definitely issues here with lag on this server. Did the opponent draw more goblins? Nope, they drew a land. Infuriate. Could be good. Down to 10. 10 to 9 in a red mirror where the opponent has double cavalcade but no creatures. And I have 1 token and not much else. A Chandra's Triumph. Good to kill whatever the next thing is. The next Goblin Gathering wins, for sure. For sure, the next Goblin Gathering off the top would win this game. Closing in. Infuriate, hanging in there. Another land off the top. That's got to be a tilt. And there is an Ember Hauler, which is a pretty good draw. It can deal 2 damage next turn, then sack for 2 damage, putting us in lethal range. There's a Footlight Fiend just in time, though. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So all we have to do is use the Chandra's Triumph here. The Footlight Fiend will take out our Goblin token, but we can attack for 5 and then sack for 2 more, which will be lethal. Show you what I mean. Infuriate the Ember Hauler. Attack for 5. And sacrifice Ember Hauler for 2 damage to any target, which will bring it home. Yes. And do we get to finish our mastery tree thingy? I don't think so, right? Not yet. We gotta go another? Alright. I'll go another. A little more gold can't hurt either. It'll be the last game for the day anyway. I do have a stream to start soon, and you can catch up on those live streams by going to Covert Go Blue Live, a new YouTube channel just for my live stream content. So check that out and subscribe. There should be a link in your description. If not, search for Covert Go Blue Live, or look on the homepage of the channel. There's a list of my other channels to the right. Ember Hauler. We got a Hinterland Harbor. Curious to see what nonsense our opponent is up to. They've got Sultai colors. Oh no, not that. Anything but that. It's gotta die now. We can't wait. The Chandra's Triumph. Wildgrowth Walker is a premium 2-mana threat for the format, because if the opponent plays Explore creatures afterwards, they gain so much life. It's so brutal. Risen Reef is also a serious problem. We're up against a real deck. Without question, our opponent's on a real deck. I feel like we should get the Spitfire on the board quickly and try to add up as much damage as possible. We could have Pyrohelix the Reef that turn to prevent more value, but we've got to get the damage. And here comes a Seeker Squire, which fortunately is not an elemental. However, it reveals another Wildgrowth Walker. And that's not a devastating turn. That's an okay turn. So what are we doing? Let's get the weird onto the battlefield. Let's attack with all. I don't think that this Ember Hauler will be useful much longer, and we can basically kill the Reef. Okay, let me think about this. The Pyro Helix can kill the Reef and deal 1, pumping this, getting it in, and the next turn the Ember Hauler could go upstairs and double pump the Spitfire again. I'm really scared. Our opponent kept this, which means that they have, what? They have another Explorer creature, so they're going to gain the 3 life. I don't think I can do anything about that. We could bluff and just hold this up and do it at instant speed, but that's not as good. Alright. Think we're gonna lose the game, friends, to another Explorer creature. But it has to be a Seeker Squire, because our opponent's only showing us 1 green mana. They could have it in their hand, but they also might... Their next turn might just be Wildgrowth Walker, nothing else. That would be... lucky me. Darn it. They had another Seeker Squire, which is easily the least popular Explorer creature that people would play in a deck like this, but they had it. Not a good draw. Let's go. Gotta get there. Okay. So do I use this to do the extra damage with the Spitfire now? Does it matter? I don't think it matters. I think we'll just wait. And we'll probably lose to their Command the Dreadhorde Yarok nonsense here. Sultai Command is a really good deck when I don't have Lightning Strikes and Wizard's Lightnings to deal with the walkers. What else can you do? That's game for sure. Like there's no way, right? I can't survive this. The opponent's going to gain 6 life. They're going to have a giant walker. They even got rid of a Yarok, which I would snap play, but they must have a way to get it out of the graveyard onto the battlefield in their hand right now. I guess we just keep picking away in the air. There's not a lot else I can do. I could attack with the Weird and sack the Ember Hauler to kill the Walker, but I think the damage is done there. I think I need the Ember Hauler to do something else. The opponent even has an Assassin's Trophy for the Spitfire. Yep. We're getting beaten by what I would definitely call a real deck. And as you've seen, it doesn't really matter how well I play. I can't beat real decks. Not with my free-to-play account as it is. Not until we unlock more stuff, and not until we can build something else that's just as competitive. So you can't let it get to you. Oh, I'm not there. I need to do one more thing. I said this was the last game, whatever. I want that orb. I don't know what I need to do. I mean, our experience points, do they come from just how many spells you play? It's so nebulous. I really don't know what I have to do. I just know it goes up when I play, so I keep playing. But I don't know in-game if I should change if and when I concede because of that. I guess we'll try it. The good thing about these monocolored decks is as long as you have some lands and some spells and some creatures, away we go. The 3-drops in this deck are a bit of a mess. The Weird, Spitfire, Gathering, they don't all work together, and it's never quite clear what to play first. What I really need is Runaway Steamkin. Just one of the most broken red cards of all time. Seems like a good deal. Oh no. Another mountain. Well, I guess, well, we'll see how teched this red deck is. Here's my spitter. You have a 1/2, I've got a 1/1. Rawr. Choices. There is the Steamkin. What did I tell you? That's the card we need. That is definitely the card we need. And it has to die. immediately, before something worse happens to us. Alright, beat him up. Our opponent's on a mulligan. We're up a few pieces of material on them, but we need to draw land to deploy our threats. It's also pretty important to be able to use my Ember Hauler like a 2-for-1. I don't want to really play it without a mana available to sacrifice it, or it just eats a burn spell. Is Firebrand going to go after the Spitter? It's thinking about it. And there you go. Spitter dead. No light up the stage makes me smile. Let's play our Dreadhorde Arcanist, even though it can't get anything out of the graveyard right now. This card has a lot of text that basically means when you attack with it, you can cast a spell from your graveyard if its casting cost is lower than the Arcanist power. There's the Lightning Strike for the Arcanist. Dead, dead, dead. All our toys are dead. How about a land? Yes. So, what to play? I think we fire up the Spitfire. We could also play the Ember Hauler with the plan being to get rid of this. I guess I like that. It definitely slows the bleeding. If the opponent points a burn spell at it, we sacrifice it in response and kill the Lava Runner no matter what. So the opponent doesn't get to deal us easy damage. They have Chandra Fire Artisan, a rare Planeswalker, showing once again that our starter deck, our intro decks, are playing against real decks. And those aren't fair matchups. They never will be.
Back and watch it burn.
We can't be too surprised that we get beaten up a bit by them. It's just the way it has to be. Alright. I guess I could attack this for 2 and then play a Spitfire. Or I could just run out the Spitfire and not attack. But yeah, we've got to kill the Chandra because it does help the opponent draw 2 cards a turn. And the longer they draw 2 cards a turn, the more dead we will be. Will the opponent block to try to save Chandra? No, not right now. But Chandra's not dead either. Now the Chandra, whenever loyalty is removed from it, it does damage to us. So we're probably going to end up taking 6 total damage just trying to kill this Chandra. But let's use the Spitfire. And if the opponent has a Lightning Strike, we're in a lot of trouble. Another land. That is not terrifying. And Pyromancer, okay. What's the last card? We're about to find out, I think. So annoying. But if the opponent attacks with the Lava Runner and we draw land, Chandra's Outrage could kill the Chandra, which is flavorfully weird. But here we go. 2 damage. Wait, it says 2 damage to that creature's controller. Not creature or planeswalker, which, I mean, that's a wrecking, isn't it? So how do I get ahead in this game? I guess I have to play the weird and try to make it a very large weird. And I'm leaving up the mana to use the Ember Hauler if the opponent tries to kill it.
It's just gonna be bad for you.
Yes, it's all very bad for me. Thanks for pointing that out. Firebrand. My turn. Alright, play this Spitter. We'll make some gobos. Try to get something going with our weirdo here. So we could attack. If the opponent double blocks, well, I guess that's still not good. Yeah, it's still not good. Because the opponent, if they double block and we kill one with the Ember Hauler to break up the double block, they can still Firebrand down the Weird, and the Weird's the best thing we have going. And we can't kill the Chandra anyway unless it went completely unblocked, which isn't very likely. All right, please whiff.
Oh, it's you burning.
One of the better cards in the deck. Seems nice. They're going face, which means light up the stage almost certainly. Which is another card that will just claw them very well into the game. We can hope it misses, and it does. 2 mountains. All right. Well, let's try to crush this Chandra. I don't know what else to really do. Full control. We want to stop in before the blockers are declared.
Tells me what to do.
So I think the Chandra is going to die now. We'll see how the opponent lines up these blocks. That's it? Okay.
Guess you don't need me anymore.
We still have the Ember Hauler to sacrifice to kill something, but we're going to 2. If the opponent has a bolt or anything like that available, we're just dead. But we tried. We certainly gave it the full go.
My hair is on fire? I know. No problem. Fire can't solve.
Yep, that's definitely game. Alright. Well, we leveled up somehow. In some magical way, that beating leveled us up. And what do we got? We got a shiny weird. So at least we took care of red, and with the next orb we can get a Rakdos deck. And getting the decks is really, like, getting these cosmetics and cards is nice, but the decks are what you really need to build up more stuff. Alright, I have a stream to start. Thank you for watching this video and our continued journey into the free-to-play world of MTG Arena. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.